I would say I'm more of a hobby shop than a Toys R Us, or I'm more of a Toys R Us of your nostalgia. We are trying to reunite people with their childhood memories. And so instead of buying things, and which technically you do, but we like to say you adopt it. We want to find toys to have a good home.
Yes.
And toys that you remember when you were a kid. I used to be a collector, and for me, I realized as a collector, what I really enjoyed was the hunt. Anybody's looking for something, I've got a list of stuff I'm already looking for.
You're like an action figure mercenary.
Kind of like an Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum.
Agent for hire.
Right, exactly.
That's
what I am.
Hello, Cheerios. That's what I call you wonderful fans of Cheers to Business with Karen Simmons. This is your show producer, Johnny Gwin, and Karen is still out spending some summertime with her lovely family. And that means I get to host this fantastic show. And what a super show we have in store for you this week. So last year in episode 107, titled Just Make the Thing, we all got to meet Scotty White. And he talked about turning his passion for entertainment, science fiction, comic books, and podcasting into a side hustle and a profession. In this episode, I get to go on remote and record Scotty as he talks about how he takes another step in his business empire of geekdom and fandom, where he sells collectible and new action figures, dolls, and pop culture toys with his newest endeavor, Scotty's Toy Shop. Scotty is not just a retail entrepreneur, podcaster, comic book, and digital content creator. He is now an action figure curator, doctor, and gun for hire bounty hunter to find, as Scotty puts it, that special toy that someone wants from their childhood memories and will bring them happiness. Not only that, he is creating revenue by doing something that he loves and is building a loyal and engaged community around his new toy shop, Scotty's Toy Shop. This show is recorded remotely at Gamers and Geeks on Moffett Road, where Scotty's Toy Shop is located, and it was a great visit. What a cool place. I can't wait for you to hear Scotty's Toy Shop story and his insights and advice if you want to go into the collectible, retail, and online sales business.
Hey, I'm Karen. I'm a former CPA, entrepreneur, business consultant with big ideas.
Welcome to Cheers to Business.
And I am on remote, and we are talking to Scotty White from Scotty's Toy Shop.
Yes, Scotty's Toy Shop.
And we are in this wonderful place called Gamers and Geeks,
yes,
which I call a wonderful megaplex of the wondrous world of geekdom.
Yeah, right. It's a wonderful store that has all kinds of gaming, from card gaming like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic to role-playing games to miniature games, and just all kinds of. There's a 90s style arcade in the back here too. Plus, it's home to Scotty's Toy Shop.
And what I love is the 80s style arcade is dark. Like, I remember it.
Like it should be.
Dark.
It should be.
Wonderful. You got 80s Galaga in there. I saw Mortal Kombat from the 90s. It is a wonderful throwback.
It's got Mortal Kombat 1 through 4. It's got all your Mortal Kombats. All your Mortal Kombat needs are here.
You're one
if
stop.
You had those needs.
You're one stop for all your Mortal Kombat needs. Scotty's Toy Shop, Scotty'sToyShop.com. You were on Cheers of Business at the end of kind of COVID, and you're talking to Karen, and the show is about turning your passion into profit, turning your passion into a business. And you talked about your podcasting, you talked about your content making, and now you're in the world of retail, and you are selling action figures and things like that. It's not a toy shop. You're more in the collector world, correct?
Right. I'm more of, I would say I'm more of a hobby shop than a Toys R Us.
Gotcha.
Or I'm more of a Toys R Us of your nostalgia.
Right. What I see is I'm surrounded by an Alf. I see Star Wars. I see Rainbow Brights. And some are still in the package.
We have some stuff in the package, and we got a lot of stuff loose. I mean, toys are meant to be played with, so you know, there's a lot of loose stuff out there.
So what I also love is at Scotty's Toy Shop is you don't just purchase something, you adopt.
Yeah, you adopt it.
And please talk about your adoption program.
Well, we are trying to reunite people with their childhood memories. And so instead of buying things, and which technically you do, but we like to say you adopt it. We want to find toys to have a good home.
Yes.
And toys that you remember when you were a kid, you can put on your shelf or show your own children. Toys nowadays are an investment. I mean, toys go up in value, so you have that aspect as well.
Well, I'm looking at some that are in boxes that have $80, $90, $120 on it, and that is a certain type of buyer.
That is a very certain type of buyer. Toy collecting can go up into 4 little groups that are kind of subgroups.
Very nice, yeah.
So you have loose collectors who want to have the toy like they remember it, and they can pose it any way they want to and on the shelf. And you've got the people who want things mint in box, has to be complete and mint in box. And those both are fine. And then we've got the 2 types of collectors who are the ones who, when they were growing up, are replacing something they had lost, something that brought them joy. Or people like in my situation, while I did not grow up. I didn't grow up poor, but I didn't have everything I wanted. No child does. But now that I have means, I can get some of that stuff I was missing.
So what's something that you do have now that you couldn't wait to get, and something that you're dying to get because now you can buy a part of your childhood?
Yeah, so I have a 1983 LGN Michael Jackson doll.
Right. Very nice.
And so
with the red leather jacket?
Oh no, I had a Thriller one and that he sold in Huntsville, but I have one from the American Music Awards.
What's something out there that you're pining for?
So as a Star Wars fan, and everyone knows I'm a huge Star Wars fan, the toy I never able to get was Han Solo and Carbonite.
Oh, wow.
And so Kenner back in '85 made a Han Solo and Carbonite combo where it had the Han and a Carbonite block together, and you could put him in it. And so I'm looking out there for one. I'm going to have one day.
That is cool. So you have a full-time job.
I do.
Scotty's Toy Shop is located in Gamers and Geeks. Are you only open on the weekend because you have, you are living your life and making money, and your main job is just store only open on the weekend?
We're open on the weekends, and of course, go to scottystoyshop.com. You can contact me if there's something.
Yep.
I'm here. I'm here most evenings too, but we don't advertise that as much. So, but if there's anything you're looking for, you need, just contact me. We'll make arrangements. Not a problem. Plus, I ship all over the world. So,
and I also love that when you do your adoptions and when you get new stuff, and I don't think you've done unboxing in a while, but I'm sure.
No.
But your Facebook page of Scotty's Toy Shop on Facebook, you show the people adopting, you show the new products in, you show the things that are available, and you can send a DM. Is not hard to say, hey Scotty,
hit me up.
What's the price on that one?
Exactly.
Very cool. So you also travel to markets, a Comic-Con. You just said you're heading to Vicksburg, Mississippi soon. You just came back from Slida, Louisiana.
Right.
Tell me what that looks like. Do you set up a booth and then show your wares? How much a part of your business is that?
It's a good size part of our business model. We basically set up a small version of the booth that we have now. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like walking in the store and seeing all the cool stuff that we got. And what's really cool about that too is because I'm working with other dealers, and I get to see all kinds of cool stuff and trade and buy and stuff for the shop. In fact, the last show
because you're a fan.
I'm a huge fan. That's why I do that. I do this because I love it.
Yes.
It's not just, yes, I'd like to make money, but I love this. This is so much fun for me. I mean, I used to be a collector, and for me, I realized as a collector, what I really enjoyed was the hunt. I'd get the thing, and once I got the thing, I was like, okay, now what? I go look for another thing.
I think that's the same with love.
Right, it's basically what it is. And so now I hunt for other people. And
that's great.
Anybody's looking for something, I've got a list of stuff I'm already looking for.
You're like an action figure mercenary.
Kind of like an Indiana Jones. It belongs in a museum.
Agent for hire.
Right, exactly. That's what I am.
I love it. You were going to have the grand opening. I was going to come. Then there was a weather event.
Yeah, there's a weather
canceled. I'm sorry. Did you have your opening event?
We're going to move it to September. Gamers and Geeks is having another festival in September with Lou Ferrigno's coming.
Whoa, Hulk.
The Hulk himself. And so we're going to be soft-opened all summer while we work out some more kinks, but September everything should be ready, so we're going to do a grand opening and a ribbon cutting then.
It sounds like a good relationship between Gamers and Geeks and Scotty's Toy Shop because...
I couldn't do it without Gamers and Geeks.
You guys, the owner is Tommy
Widgen.
That y'all have become friends.
Oh, yeah, he's an amazing guy. Very
simpatico in what he's created with his Gamers and Geeks and what you're doing, because you are highly specialized in the selling of new...
I like to call it vintage and collectible.
Vintage and collectible.
So the new stuff we call collectible.
So what's great is he has a tenant now that adds to what he's already doing, and now he's kind of out of the retail inventory game, which... Look, that's a very hard, time-consuming world. How in the world are you handling? I'm looking around your shop right now. How are you handling inventory right now and inventory control?
What's sleep?
Well, I'm sure you like you just told me, you keep buying collections and have to do repairs on it, and then you got to put it into the system, and then you have to put it out to sell.
I just bought a large G.I. Joe collection, and for those who are my age, so I'm 43. If you remember, those G.I. Joe guys had little rubber O-rings in their waist to make them move.
Right.
And those rubber O-rings weren't meant to last 40 years. Oh. And so I ordered a kit from China and had to repair all of them. And so it's like,
you're also an action figure doctor.
I am an action figure doctor. I'm not a good one, but
Well,
G.I. Joe's is where we're at right now.
I saw some of the work you did. It was a G.I. Joe that was in pieces when you showed the before picture, and you did manage to put them together very nicely on the after.
Yeah, oh yeah. It took me a minute. We all took things apart when we were kids, and I was 9. I'd made my own G.I. Joe. Legs on this guy and arms on that guy. So it took me a little while to remember how to do that. But it was like once it clicked, it was like, oh, like bicycle riding. I got this.
Man. Well, I love the fact that you are selling people not just a product, you are selling them a memory and something that brings joy to them. I think when you are hitting the right price, getting the right people, and creating that warm feeling, you have a win-win-win situation.
Exactly. I want to make people happy, and that's what I'm doing. And if there's something out there you're looking for, or something you've missed, or something, let me know. We'll go find it. I do a lot of shows. I talk to a lot of dealers. We can find pretty much whatever, and we typically beat eBay prices. And you can just pick it up here. There's no shipping. And of course, unless you want me to ship it to you, I'll ship it to you too.
Very nice. What sells the most? I'm sure Star Wars sells very well, but what is something that has surprised you that sells really well?
The odd 80s stuff, I would say. I've sold, I had a couple of Annie figures.
Annie, like the
1982
in the movie.
The 1982 movie. I bought $3 from a dealer a couple months ago, and I've sold 2 of those. And I've noticed in the market there's not a lot of dealers who do a lot of girls' toys.
Interesting.
And they're women collectors too. And so I want to try to cater to that more.
Yeah.
And so every time I find some neat dolls or something interesting, especially like Strawberry Shortcake or Rainbow Bright or stuff like that, I always pick that up.
Gary Vee did a thing a while back, fantastic entrepreneur, top 5 in the world. I don't know how they rank that. And he did a show that was 22 episodes on YouTube. And this guy makes millions of dollars, right? But he loves collecting sports and video game stuff.
Yeah.
And he took $100 in his pocket, and him and his buddy went out, and they had a film crew, and they would go to garage sales. And he said, guys, you don't have to have $1 million to be an entrepreneur. I take $100, I buy the stuff I know can sell for more than I'm buying it for. He goes out there, does the inventory, comes back, puts it on eBay, and makes his profit.
Exactly.
And that's what you're doing. And I love that. And it doesn't take a huge amount of investment to be able to do this. And what's nice is your rental relationship with Tommy and Gamers and Geeks cuts back on that cost for you because now you've got a retail store, which is a lot of overhead. Now you've got a wonderful way to save money and how you're doing that as well.
Right. And it doesn't take a lot of money, but it takes a lot of research. It's easy, but it takes time. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. A lot of people don't realize how much time is involved. Just researching to find the right product to buy and to sell. I mean, the market's always changing. And it's funny, the hobby market has skyrocketed over COVID. And so
not people are home shopping, and
well, home shopping, but they're also home shopping for nostalgia stuff. So sports cards went through the roof, gaming cards went through the roof.
I sell LPs, and I sold some of my highest priced records during that time. I couldn't believe it.
Same way with toys. Toys are toys have gone through an incredible rise in market, and so it's also a seller's market anyway, because realistically, checks are stopping coming from the government, and people are looking for jobs and stuff like that. So they're looking for extra cash. They come see me, and I help them out.
So, how do you find your nostalgic inventory? Is there an online board you go to? Where have you found that network?
So Facebook is a great resource for all of that. There's a lot of us dealers and collectors who talk on Facebook, more so than any, because it's easier to do groups on Facebook than any other platform.
I agree.
And so everyone's doing Facebook groups, and we do sales online, and we do chat. That's how we find out about the shows, and just it's good. It's a really good network. Tommy's been wonderful and helped me out. Another Travis Hotard out of Slidell with a Mega Level Toys has been incredibly helpful for me, and Jonathan Brown with Celosaurus, also out of Slidell, have been incredibly helpful in getting me started.
So, say someone loves knives or something like that. You're not going to go and buy. You're not going to go and rent a retail space.
No,
but they want to go out there, make a couple bucks, do something they know about, they love. How would you say for someone to get started doing?
Well, first,
doing this?
Again, like I said, do your research. Find some Facebook groups who deal with that stuff, and then by talking to others, you'll gauge what's working in the market right now.
Would you suggest doing something like maybe like the flea market, something like that, where you have a table?
Of course.
And like I said, maybe these shows, instead of going all in, why don't you try it baby steps first?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what that's what I did.
So that's how Scotty's Toy Shop started.
I got started. I was collecting for a long time, and then I was doing shows with the comic book, and then we would bring some extra toys to sell just to mostly get out of my house kind of stuff. And then COVID happened, and no shows last year.
Right.
And so I had a backlog of just inventory.
Yeah.
And I was watching Amazon Prime. There's a documentary about toy stores. And I saw one, had an episode of this wonderful couple out of Lawrence, Kansas, who own 1313 Mockingbird Lane, which is from the Munsters.
Oh, very nice.
But that's the name of their toy shop, and it's a couple. They have full-time jobs, and they still do this wonderful shop. And so I saw it in January, and so I know about February 1st, I called Tommy. I was like, "Hey, I kind of want to do this," and he went, "Yes, you need to do it now." And so he's been influential in pushing me getting the store together.
Well, I'm excited for it, man. I love this stuff. I actually brought some of my extra action figures, and you gave me a fair price, and it goes out to an adopted family somewhere, and that's great because it was sitting in a box at home, and it doesn't need to be that way.
Right.
It needs to be out in the world.
Exactly. That's the way I feel. My job is to help get it there.
So, Scotty White, we're going to talk a little briefly about community real quick. I know you use Facebook a lot. How important is your group around you of growing your business? How important, not just customers, how are you engaging those people around you to make them feel like they're part of a club?
The whole thing is about community. Great about the geek culture is that growing up, we were kind of ostracized in high school. There's probably 2 or 3 other geeks, and y'all got picked on. But now there's a bunch of us together, so we're kind of a geek army. And we kind of also have common interest, and so you build friendships, and that's how it really works. I mean, that's what the whole idea behind Gamers and Geeks anyway is, building community.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just a small part of that. I'm so happy to be a small part of that.
Well, this is great. Now, Scotty, we loved your show before, turning passion into a business. Now you're doing it. You have a grand opening coming. You're doing online sales. I just love that you are an expert on what you're selling because you grew up with it and you live in it now.
Yeah, my mother said, "Why keep playing with this stuff? You'll never make anything out of it. Look at me now."
Well, I think it's great, and we always do a cheers at the end of the show, and I will start us out. Cheers to those that do what they love and sell what they love, so others can love it themselves.
Cheers to childhood memories.
Fantastic, Scotty White. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Johnny.
Real quick. Anybody wants to find anything about what you're up to, there's so many things you're up to, and Scotty's Toy Shop, how can they do that?
ScottyWhite.com.
Scotty White, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Please be sure to subscribe to Cheers to Business podcast on iTunes or anywhere else that you get your podcast. Visit our Facebook and be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, shoot us an email from the website cheerstobusiness.com.